because I think I was a bit more with it. So now let's go over to TV stuff and let's go over to Sharon. You saw Troll.
Oh,
Yes, a Norwegian film that was on Netflix. Yes, I think it's number one in the Netflix film charts at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, it's been this one has been they've been pushing it quite a lot. But yes, it's a mixed English and Norwegian language film, but primarily it's Norwegian. And the main character, you see her first when she's a child, and like the last film, you like Strange Worlds, that was a father and a son. This is a daughter and her father who, at the beginning of the film, she's a young girl and she goes adventuring with her dad. He's a folklorist who has a passion for Norwegian folk tales. And one of their adventures, they go adventuring, was climbing the mountains that were called the 12 Trolls. And these mountains were formed when 12 trolls were at a party. They stayed out too long and they got frozen by the sun. They got turned into the mountains. And if you believe, you can see, and you see this moment where the mountains are transformed into these sort of frozen figures of these trolls.
So sorry,
And
just
so,
I just at the moment, Sharon, I'm just you know what you were saying about like the last film we were just talking about.
yeah,
Every now and then you get the feeling you're like, hang on, with the people who made these two films on the other side of the restaurant and overhear each other conversations because the beginning of this film it sounded suspect. It sounded quite familiar, shall I say?
yeah, I think they seem to have the same sort of inspiration. And so you
Yes.
then jump forward 20 years and you see the daughter is estranged from her father because she thinks he's basically had a complete breakdown and has become lost in his folk laws, that he believes some of the folk tales to be true, and she has discovered a passion for paleontology. So she has basically exploring the wild places for lost fossil remains, and so that has begun her passion. But meanwhile, in another part of Norway, while she is doing her excavations, she notices that um, there's a protest where a new road is being built through a mountain, and as they are tunneling for this new road, amongst all the protesters and people are shouting, and there's Greta and her, not Greta as such, but girls who look very much like Greta
Yeah,
protesting
yeah, yeah.
about them building this new road. Um, Whilst they dynamite a new section of the mountain, they wake something up. And the thing that is woken up is a troll that has been sleeping for millennia. And it decides to come out and basically go on a rampage. And so the Norwegian government call in all the experts of different fields to see if they can identify what it is that's been woken up. Is it something that's prehistoric, something ancient? Is it natural, or is it, what is it? What have they found? And as the story develops, you understand that yes, this is a troll from folklore, and they need to work out which part of folklore is actually based on history and which parts of the folklore are based on um, stories that grow up around these tales.
Yeah.
So we see this confrontation between modern man and ancient mountain troll.
Cool. Cool. Okay, so I just had a quick look, and Troll Hunter is Norwegian as well.
It's
So
Norwegian as well.
it's
Yeah.
Norwegian, yeah, it's Norwegian as well. So what was that? What was that, Sean?
I just said Troll Hunter. Troll!
I know that is an
Oh,
awesome
good, that.
scene. Just the pronunciation of troll in that scene.
Yeah.
Troll is awesome. Okay. Oh, so yeah, so obviously troll and everything like that comes from like Norwegian thing, and you know me, I'm always like a big thing when you have a certain group of people who sort of reclaim their culture, like when they the film Ragnarok or whenever things were made. No, it was a TV show Ragnarok that you watched,
Yeah, the
Sharon,
TV
wasn't
show
it?
Ragnarok.
Yeah, it was TV show Ragnarok, and that was the region as well. Just sort of like
Yeah.
Norse reclaiming Norse, like we're gonna tell our own Norse stories. I'm always a big fan of that. So I like the idea of this. I really like the idea of this. How was it?
I really enjoyed it actually. It was aware of its own silliness, so it's self-aware in fact that it was like saying it's a troll, and they didn't treat it, and they referenced things like they had at one scene they had when their troll goes on a public rampage, all the different news channels around the world are talking about it, and they sort of mention like popular culture, like the Japanese was saying like, it's big, it's like Godzilla. And then and they've got all these different references to different, it's like King Kong, and you get all the different references in other cultures that put their own thing. It's like, yeah, so you see these little glimpses, and in the British television section, it's only a little tiny bit, you get one of these experts earnestly sort of talking about it, as you often see on our television programs, where whatever happens, they suddenly get an expert in who knows all about it.
Yeah.
They had nice nods. A couple of the sort of the Norwegian army characters, one of them is a big Star Trek fan, so every now and then they would suddenly say, engage and make it so. So there were nods to sort of that geekdom, and the other nods as well to that at one point they say, you shall not pass.
Oh yeah.
It's a cave troll. So there were lots of nods. So it was self-aware. It was funny. There was lots of sort of wry humour in it. So I really liked it. I thought it was really well done. I just thoroughly enjoyed it. And I'd certainly give it a 4.
All right. So a 4 for Troll. And I've decided that this is the kind of Scandi stuff I like. Because obviously...
I like the idea of that. I might have to check that one.
Yeah, because obviously you always have like, Scandi noir. That's like the big thing, Scandi. But I think Scandi fantasy might actually be more my speed, because they have a kind of there's almost a kind of like jokey sense about it, like an acceptance that this is silly, and that I really 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 like and really respect. All right, cool.